Hey guys, welcome back. Drip and Farm for Poverty. I'm your host, Drip Coach, dropping knowledge bombs on all drip ecosystem related projects. And today's video, as promised, it's the drip drop draw update. Today for me is Monday the 21st in the afternoon, so we don't have any additional launch date information other than that we will get an announcement for the launch date on the 25th. So there are speculations that it could stealth launch, that it could be a date for another date. We have no idea, but there was something in the Telegram that said Forex did confirm he will be giving a date on Thursday. So we'll at least get that, but we don't know when that will be. But either way, it's been a while since I have reviewed the white paper and the tokenomics about drip drop draw. And some of you may not even be familiar with it if you've just kind of started watching the content. I'm sure the bulk of you are, but if you're like me, you probably forgot what was included in this. So figured it'd be a good time to refresh ourselves. So remember, the drip drop draw was a community project by Josh, Lady Mania, forgot the dev's name, and Ray, and they put this together. And basically it was originally it was its own standalone product that was kind of just a raffle to get people to buy and burn more drip, basically to win. Forex said it was just a watered down, scratchy version, so he offered some solutions, I guess you could say, and they went back to the drawing board, and then it got tied in with the drip UI, and now we are waiting for this release. Now, we saw the drip price pump when we had the buy and burn initiatives, but as of recently, we have not seen that same level of support from the community. So suffice it to say, based on purely the charts, not my own feelings, we can see that the community is not as supportive as they once were. Now, the hope is that when this comes out, this will change that sentiment, because it's been waiting for quite some time, about 4 months now that we've been waiting on this. It was originally teased in January. So we're going to review the tokenomics and then look at some speculations that I put out, because everybody wants to know, what can the price do? And as I showed you guys in a previous video, it's all about the volume. So I'm going to show up this spreadsheet after we look at this. Where was it? So the first time I covered Triple D was way back here in January. Drip drop draw 3 months ago. We got it teased here 3 months ago. So it was back at the end of January. And we've been waiting ever since. But there was a recent video I just did about volume. And remember, volume is really all it takes to pump the drip price. That was this one here, comparing us to Seifu. So if you want to get more details on that, take a look at that. But for now, we're gonna look at the white paper, and then again, just look at what would it take for us to see some positive price action. So remember, here is the tokenomics of how it's broken down. You can either enter into drip drop draw with BNB and you'll buy drip, or BUSD and you'll buy drip, or it's gonna buy drip basically. So what happens is you enter in with any of these tokens, and that goes into the jackpot, and that jackpot will create lottery tickets, and those tickets are going to be how you get paid out into your Faucet stake, basically based on if you win. So when you come into the Triple D raffle, so to speak, basically what happens is you're either coming in with drip in your wallet that you're sacrificing, and remember, you're giving that up for the chance to win. So if you come in with drip, 100% of it is this doesn't show that, but it's actually being sacrificed, but you get more tickets, so that doesn't show it in there. But you can also come in with BUSD or BNB, and then you're depositing that into the ecosystem, the raffle, and 75% of that goes to the Faucet for your stake, and then 24% of that is going to the jackpot to pay out these jackpot prizes, basically. So there was some numbers here, but we're going to look at what the numbers are now. This was done way back when drip was 50 cents, and this was also done talking about per round, but what I'm going to look at instead is what we have actually done in volume per day. I think that's more realistic to see how much money has come through drip on a daily basis on average, even at our most bullish times, as well as the average since we've been below $1, because that's a more realistic gauge rather than just saying how many people are going to actually participate. It doesn't matter how many people participate. What matters is how much money is actually coming in. So we'll look at those numbers, and yeah, those are different scenarios. So yeah, the big thing is that this should clean up the liquid drip. That's the main thing we're looking at. And if you're looking for this, it's pinned in my Telegram, and you can also find this in the drip Telegram. But I think this is still the old version, like it hasn't been updated. So I don't know if there's a drip wiki for this out yet. I don't believe there is. I would imagine that would be something that they'll have out somewhere. But anyway, let us take a look at first some of the information that we're currently sitting at. So as of right now, there's 14 million liquid drip, 146,000 wallets. When we look at the actual holders, we'll find that there is 6.2 million between these two contracts, and then the other 8.5 or so is held in wallets. 8.5 million drip in wallets. Now, ironically, I mentioned this multiple times. I'm sorry, 8.3. The bulk of this liquid drip came into these wallets after January. So if you go back here in November, let's just go to December. You go to December, you see we have 1.6. And there was actually, when you look at the chart here, you can see the curl up. We got to like the 1.8 million October, November, and then we actually went down a bit because everybody was looking for Animal Farm launch, and remember, it got delayed. But everybody was selling and things of that nature, getting rid of it. Things were looking great, and the accumulation was because of delays, and then eventually more delays, and forgot what happened here in December, but yeah, basically we started adding more to it. So what I did I didn't actually speculate on this because the liquid drip coming out and going into the tax vault doesn't do anything for the price. And what everybody wants to know is, what about the price? But getting that liquid drip out of wallets gives people less fear of these tokens being dumped on the market. So I'm just showing you this to let you know that, yeah, we had basically less than 2 million for the bulk of our journey. Like we didn't get back above we didn't hit above 2 million until the middle of January. So this additional 6.5 million came all this year, and that was pretty much when we saw the lowest price action on drip. So I just wanted you to see that, because that is important, because that assumes that people are buying the rumor, selling the news. But they could also, as I mentioned, be using those drip tokens to sacrifice into drip. We really don't know, so you can't speculate too much on that. But we can say possibly for certain that since the 2 million of that was held for quite some time, that maybe there will still be 2 million sitting in the wallets, and those aren't going to dump or do anything. But 6 million or so is probably going to move, or at least a good portion of that. So anyway, what we did, or what I did here to find this out, I basically looked at the net volume coming across the DEX tools chart. So did it for a weekly basis, right? So each week I looked at each week that had a green candle and what that amount of volume was, because that tells us how much money is in the drip ecosystem, or at least how much people are willing to spend. So if you want to know how to do that, you come over to DEX tools, and then every green candle up here is you can change this to a weekly view, monthly view, hourly view, daily view, whatever. I did weekly because I didn't feel like adding up any more than that. And then I started basically a year back. So like in May or June, when we broke down from had our first pump here. And then this is the net volume. So you get this indicator by coming to indicators and just typing in net volume, and it'll show up at the bottom. And then what you could do is look at this chart and see on dates like, for example, this one lines up with that green candle. You can see that there's $1.4 odd million in net volume that flew or went into the chart. And because that was a green candle week, that means we had positive price action that entire week. So it's a good indicator of the amount of money that went through the ecosystem for an entire 7-day period. Now, remember also, this is just on the PancakeSwap DEX, so it does not show the native DEX. So in order to get this kind of volume, in theory, there was twice as much flowing through the ecosystem, because at least close to twice as much. We can't say twice as much, but to get positive price action on this liquidity pool, it usually takes the arbitrage opportunity coming from the native DEX, and people buy off the native DEX most of the time because there's no tax there, and because it's tied to BNB. So you typically well, they sell there, but you still get usually better prices. It's very rare to actually get a better arbitrage opportunity that you can find without being a bot off of buying from PancakeSwap, but it is possible. So anyway, point is that this is a good indicator to use as a single mile or metric for volume that could come into drip on a daily basis once you divide this by 7. And that's what I'm doing in this chart. So I want to give you guys some background on that. This is just showing the drip in wallets that I just talked about. So we had 1.84 all the way till like 10 Jan, and then we added 6.5 till now, right? So when we look at this volume, we show here that we have 606,000 on average when I average all the way from 16 May till now. So for 1 year, it's 606,000 per week, which is 86,000 per day. You guys follow that math? Pretty simple, just averaging all of these up for the green candle days only. And that comes out to 606,000 per week or 86,000 per day. Now, this is just since we broke below $1. So from 26 January until now, we've seen 302,000 on average, which is $43,000 per day. We'll get to SafeMove volume later, because again, that gives me some hopium. So simple math, if we're able to do 43,000 per day, which again, I showed you that we have done it on more than one occasion. That's all of these metrics out here. And remember, when the lower the drip price, that 43,000 goes further. The higher the drip price, that 43,000 doesn't go as far. So let's take a look at what that looks like. So if we were able to get that 43,000 per day at the drip launch, so remember, this has nothing to do with sacrificing or anything like that. That would just be volume coming into drip, people getting eyeballs, getting bullish, getting excited, getting happy again. We could reduce the supply in 1 week by 912,000 drip, and we could more than 2x the price. And we've seen this more than once during the buy and burn challenge. So bringing in $302,000 over the course of the week is very easy for the drip ecosystem. We've seen more than that in 1 day. So this is very realistic. And even this after 2 weeks, I just did 2 weeks, would be very realistic as well. Now, the caveat to this is obviously there could be some sell pressure on that. So to maintain that price, we would have to see this kind of volume go in. So 600,000, we'll just call it 700,000. Just for simple 600,000 for simple math. So that's 1.2 million, and that's 600,000. So $600,000 over 2 weeks would shake out 1.3 million drip. Now we would need to do that 600,000 over 2 weeks at least 4 more times to theoretically get rid of all the liquid drip that's sitting there. And again, that's feasible. It's not very difficult. Now it requires constant buy pressure, and it would definitely require new eyeballs, because I would imagine the people in the ecosystem at this stage, a lot of them would have multiple max wallets and don't need 20, and if they already have 10 or something like that. But I'm sure there's still a lot of people that are not maxed out and are waiting on some positive price action to start DCAing back in, because they may have been sitting on the sidelines. As I said, just wait. You will have other opportunities. And this is what I was talking about, because even if this price pumps up here with this $600,000 of liquidity coming in, it can easily fall back down to lower prices with that sell volume or sell pressure. And just from my side, I can sell with a profit at about 75 cents, including taxes. So there's other people out there like me. So that's why I'm saying you still have a great opportunity. So this is bullish if it takes off like this and we continue to see that positive price action come in. And on top of that, we shake out some of this. Like, that will, I think, re-spark the community and give us hope again. That's my expectation. Now let's look at, remember, this is the low end of 302,000. Let's look at the literal double of 86,000, what that looks like. So 86,000 per day. We can basically get to $1.02 by the end of the week, reducing the supply by 1.3 million. And remember, it gets slower because that same 86,000 per day, when you have drip at $2, you're only now buying 40,000 drip a day. Whereas down here, you're buying a lot more drip, right? So that has kind of a reducing effect. It takes more money to start moving the needle that much more. That's why this slows down. But still, these are definitely feasible, because once again, we have done it. And this is an average. Like you see here, we had 1.2 million in June. We had another million in August. So that's over the course of a week. So we can definitely do those numbers with the people in the community, and with positive price action, and with forward-looking events or expectations. And that's why I brought up Seifu again, because that shows what a large community can do. So I did the same thing for them. And you guys know I've been comparing them because they went a lot lower than us. Yes, the tokenomics are different. I know the people in the chat are going to say that. But the point is, it's all about volume. Tokenomics, I could care less. It's just about bringing money into the system and having people excited about putting their money into the system. So these guys have had a lot more volume, 9.8 million, a low of 6 million, up here at 20 million. So naturally, I was like, well, let's see if we had a community that size. And the reason I'm bringing them on, because Brian is tying his new Seifu Go to Drip with his new bigger than life marketing push on the Binance Smart Chain of trying to pair basically all the projects. I think he said any project that's over 4 months old, he wants to have Seifu Go partnered with them for this arbitrage opportunity kind of thing. So I don't know what that looks like. I don't really care. The point is, his chart is bullish and he knows how to market. So therefore his community is going to rally behind them, as we've seen already. So when you look at his volume numbers, doing the same thing a little further back, 20 million, all this, blah, 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 is ultimately low at 60,000. You end up with 5 million on average per day, 5 million per week, 725,000 daily, and 3 million per week on the low end. Same thing for him. Anything below $1 is what I averaged here. And that's 418,000 daily. So that's nearly 10x the amount of volume. So the point I'm bringing up with this is not to say the Seifu community is going to buy from us. It's to say that in DeFi, there's money in the bear market right now. So $418,000 a day is in a project, one project, not all the DeFi, nothing like that. So again, it is extremely possible. So naturally, I was like, well, let's see what happens if we did Seifu volume. Are you ready? Drum roll, please. If we did that, we would end up with like an $88 drip price in 2 weeks. Now, granted, we would definitely shake out all of the liquid drip here, so we wouldn't hold that, but it would come out a lot faster if we were able to bring in $418,000 a day. That is crazy. You reduce the drip supply to 2.5 million. So that means this would have to happen like maybe 3 times. And that cost for one time is about $6 million over the course of 2 weeks. So if you did that 3 more times over the course of maybe a month, then we could literally have a flat drip price at like $50 easily. If big if, of course, there was enough volume in DeFi coming in on a daily basis like that. Hence why we are so bullish on the drip marketing DAO, because it's just a matter of simple supply and demand economics. Our volume right now in drip has been like 5,000 a day, 2,000 a day, 10,000 a day. It's been horrible. So you get more demand on the price, on the token, then it's just a simple mathematical equation of supply and demand. And so if there was $500,000 a day, what you see meme tokens, they can do $1 billion in volume a day. So that's a small amount. Then you can keep positive price action in drip. It doesn't take much. Now, granted, as we grow and you get that more inflation, that 1% per day, it's going to take exponentially more. But that's where having use cases for drip come into to play. So the borrow and lending that could be done on BNB leverage, or the Bitfighters game, a place to put it, or like what I want with the drip marketing DAO, as well as the crypto ranch project, maybe a place to put drip where you're exchanging it for stuff. That allows for less sell pressure because people are trading their drip for utilities. That's the long-term goal. So hope that provided some hopium. And now real quick, just wanted to look at the jackpots. So here is some information on the jackpot. Now, take this with a grain of salt, because I don't know if the numbers will add up to exactly the same. But what happens with the jackpot is that there's a 10% rollover every day. But as the price of drip goes up, you're buying less and less drip into that jackpot. So the actual drip jackpot goes down with that 10% being added every day. Even though you're adding to it, there comes a point of equilibrium as long as you have the same buy volume where the jackpot prize will flatline. So it is important to see increased buy pressure so that the jackpot looks better, because the price of drip will be going up. So as drip goes up, you need more volume coming into drip so you can add more buy pressure on the token. And I even tried to do it another way around with the same amount of volume over the course of a week, and it ends up being worse. And typically we know with jackpots like or daily lotteries like the Avarice and Wells Candy, people start to lose interest in it. So here's another version of like everybody aping at once, but then tapering down to a flat line. Then the jackpot does start to slim off and becomes less attractive. But the big caveat to that, so that's not bad news, it's just saying that as long as we can lock up a big portion of that drip in the beginning and we can get some positive price action, then this doesn't matter as much. It will be enough for people to maintain it and still be willing to sacrifice some drip and keep the tax vault healthy. That's all that matters. So wrapping this up, all in all, I think there is hope again, based off of these numbers. I don't know what will be done, but remember, this is only with fresh capital. So additionally, if people are actually getting into the faucet, into the contract, the raffle with this liquid drip, then that could be even better exponentially, because it won't add the actual buy pressure, but it takes a lot of this liquid supply out, which removes the sell pressure when and if we get a pump. So the more of that gets locked up, the less likelihood of it being sold off. So these numbers to me are very conservative and realistic, because again, they're based off of what we've done. So I could see a $2 drip price. Now granted, again, it comes with the sell pressure. So after all of that shaken out, and as long as we can maintain positive price action and positive green charts, and external community people are looking at us, and that's why I think the Safe Go project is important to keep an eye on, because Brian's literally putting up the liquidity for that, and he clearly knows how to market to his community based on his chart. So maybe some of them will come over and support drip, because Brian literally is talking about it. He hasn't really mentioned too many other projects. There's others, but he keeps drip top of mind, which is to me, that's a good thing, because that's just free marketing. So it's like, hey, thanks, man. You got a much bigger community than us. And if some of them are just following in your footsteps and they decide to do some pairing, we can benefit from that. So that's why, again, I showed you the numbers from that community, because they are clearly a much bigger community than us and have 10 times the volume per day that we do on a minimum. So yeah, 10 on both, actually, 725 and 600. Oh no, it's not 10 there. Sorry, 5 million. Yeah, it is. Sorry, almost 10. 860,000 is what they would need for that one. All right. Anyway, let me know what you guys think down in the chats. Let me know what you think. What's your speculation? Where do you think we'll be at? Can we break the $1 stranglehold? Will we bounce around down there forever? Is drip doomed? Are we never going back up? Let me know your thoughts. I just showed you the math. You don't have to like the math, but math keeps mathing. So that's all I got. Hope it provided value. If it did, smash that HPL special up, brother. Like, subscribe, comment down below. And until next time, lift daily and achieve your impossible. See ya.
Want to pay your in real life bills with crypto? How about send crypto directly to anyone with a bank account? Spritz Finance is a decentralized solution to be your own bank and connect your crypto earnings to real world bills and payments. They do not take custody of your assets and allow support on multiple blockchains and Web3 wallets. Sign up below using my referral link and you will get $50 back when you make your first $50 bill payment with crypto. Additionally, I will be using referral bonuses to airdrop, donate, or burn based on community feedback. Sign up now.